Good afternoon. It is January 26th, and we are going to get into Exodus 2:11 through 3:22, and Matthew 17:10 through 27, Psalms 22 1 through 18, and Proverbs 5:7 through 14. So, as like always, we are going to do the Lord's Prayer first. So, here we go. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. We are in Exodus 2:11 through 3:22, January 26th. Time passed. Moses grew up. So where we left off was Moses was born. The new Pharaoh wanted all the babies from the Jewish babies to be deceased upon birth, and one of the housemaids said that they weren't going to do it and put him in a basket and put him down the river. And Pharaoh's daughter found Moses, and they brought Moses into the Pharaoh's house. So this is kind of where we left off yesterday. So time passed. Moses grew up. One day he went and saw his brothers, saw all that hard labor. Then he saw an Egyptian hit a Hebrew, one of his relatives. He looked this way and then that way. When he realized there was no one in sight, he killed the Egyptian and buried him in the sand. The next day he went out there again. Two Hebrew men were fighting. He spoke to the man who started it. Why are you hitting your neighbor? That man shot back. Why do you think you are telling us what to do? You're going to kill me the way you killed that Egyptian. Then Moses panicked. Word's gotten out. People know about this. Pharaoh heard about it and tried to kill Moses. But Moses got away to the land of Midian. He sat down by a well. The priest of Midian had 7 daughters. They came and drew water, filling the troughs, and water their father's sheep. When some shepherds came and chased the girls off, Moses came to this rescue and helped them water their sheep. When they got home to their father, Reuel said, "That didn't take long. Why are you back so soon?" An Egyptian, they said, rescued us from a bunch of shepherds. Why, he even drew us water for us and watered the sheep. He said, "Where is he? Why do you leave him behind? Invite him so he can have something to eat with us." Moses agreed to settle down there with the man who gave his daughter Zipporah, which means bird, to him for his wife. She had a son, and Moses named him Gershom, sojourner, saying, "I'm a sojourner in a foreign country." Have to look that word up. Many years later, the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned under their slavery and cried out. Their cries for relief from their hard labor ascended to God. God listened to their groanings. God remembered his covenant with Abraham and Isaac and with Jacob. God saw what was going on in Israel. God understood. Moses was sheep herding the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. He led the flock to the west end of the wilderness and came to the mountain of God, Horeb. The angel of God appeared to him in flames, a fire blazing out of the middle of a bush. He looked. The bush was blazing away, but it did not burn up. Moses says, "What's going on here? I can't believe this. Amazing. Why doesn't the bush burn up?" God saw that he had stopped to look. God called to him from out of the bush, "Moses, Moses." He said, "Yes, I'm right here." God said, "Don't come any closer. Remove your sandals from your feet. You're standing on holy ground." Then he said, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob." Moses hid his face, afraid to look at God. God said, "I've taken a good look, long look, at the affliction of my people in Egypt. I've heard their cries for deliverance from their slave masters. I know all about their pain, and now I have to come down on them. Pry them loose from their grip of Egypt. Get them out of that country and bring them to a good land with wide open spaces, a lush land with milk and honey, a land of the Canaanite, the Hittite and the Amorite, the Perizzite and the Hivite, and the Jebusite." The Israelite cry for help has come to me, and I've seen for myself how cruelly they've been treating by the Egyptians. It's time for you to go back. I'm sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people. To bring my I'm sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the people of Israel, out of Egypt. Moses answered God, "But why me? What makes you think I could ever go to Pharaoh and lead the children of Israel out of Egypt? I'll be with you, God said, and this will be the proof that I am the one who sent you. When you have brought me the people out of Egypt, you will worship God right here at this very mountain. Then Moses said to God, suppose I go to the people of Israel and I tell them, the God of your fathers sent me to you, and they ask me, what is your name? What do I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. Tell the people of Israel, I am sent me to you. God continued with Moses, this what you've been saying to the God continued with Moses, this what you're to say to the Israelites. I'm torn up about I am. I am the I am. That's deep. God, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob sent me to you. This has always been my name, and this is how I always will be known. Now be on your way, gather the leaders of Israel, tell them, God, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, appeared to me, saying, I've looked into what's been done to you in Egypt, and I've determined to get you out of the affliction of Egypt and take you to the land of Canaanite, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite, a land brimming over with milk and honey. Believe me, they will listen to you. Then you and the leaders of Israel will go to the king of Egypt and say to him, God, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. Let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness where we will worship God, our God. I know that the king of Egypt won't let you go unless forced to do so. I've intervened and hit Egypt with where it hurts. Oh, my miracles will send them reeling, after which they'll be glad to send you off. I'll see to it that this people get a hearty send off by the Egyptians. When you leave, you won't leave empty handed. Each woman will ask her neighbor and any guest in her house for objects of silver and gold, for jewelry with extra clothes. You'll put them on your sons and daughters, and you'll clean the Egyptians out. The breakdown of Exodus 2:11 through 3:22 says Moses tries to act in his own strength and ends up running for his life. 40 years later, God meets him in a burning bush and says, now you're ready. The lesson, God doesn't rush his calling. What Moses couldn't fix with force, God redeems with obedience. And don't miss this. God sees oppression, hears cries, and personally steps in to deliver his people. Absolutely. Matthew 17:10 through 27. The disciples, meanwhile, were asking questions. Why do the religion scholars say that Elijah has come first? Jesus answered, Elijah does come and get everything ready. I'm telling you, Elijah has already come, but they didn't know him when they saw him. They treated him like dirt, the same way they are about to treat the Son of Man. That's when the disciples realized that all along he had been talking about John the Baptizer. At the bottom of the mountain, they were met with a crowd of waiting people. As they approached, a man came out of the crowd and fell to his knees, begging, Master, have mercy on my son. He goes out of his mind and suffers terribly. Falling into seizures, frequently he is pitched into the fire, other times into the river. I brought him to your disciples, but they could do nothing for him. Jesus said, what a generation. No sense of God, no focus on your lives. How many times do I have to go over these things? How much longer do I have to put up with this? Bring the boy here. He ordered the afflicting demon out, and it was gone. From that moment on, the boy was well. When the disciples had Jesus off to themselves, he asked, why couldn't we throw it out? Because you're not taking God seriously, said Jesus. The simple truth is that if you had a mere kernel of faith, a poppy seed, say, you would tell this mountain, move, and it would move. There is nothing you wouldn't be able to tackle. As they were regrouping in Galilee, Jesus told them the Son of Man is about to be betrayed by some people who want nothing to do with God. They will murder him, and 3 days later he will be raised alive. The disciples felt scared to death. When they arrived at Capernaum, the tax men came to Peter and asked, does your teacher pay taxes? Peter said, of course. But as soon as they were in the house, Jesus confronted them. Simon, what do you think? When a king levies taxes, who pays his children or the subjects? He answered, his subjects. Jesus said, then the children get off free, right? But so we don't upset them needlessly, go down to the lake, cast a hook, and pull in the first fish that bites. Open its mouth, and you'll find a coin. Take it and give it to the taxman. It will be enough for both of us. Could you imagine being there with a disciple and Jesus saying, go fishing? And then the first fish you catch, open its mouth, and there's going to be a coin in it to pay the taxes. That's mm, that's just crazy. So the breakdown of Matthew 17:10 through 27 is Jesus clarifies that Elijah already came, John the Baptist, but people missed him, just like they are missing Jesus. Then Jesus heals a demon-possessed boy, reminding us that faith isn't about perfection; it's about dependence. The temple tax moment seals it. Jesus is king, yet he humbles himself to avoid offense. Authority with humility, that's Christ. Psalms 22, 1 through 18. God, God, my God, why do you dump me miles from nowhere? Doubled with pain, I call to God all the day long, no answer, nothing. I keep at it all night, tossing and turning. And you, are you indifferent above it all? Leaning back on the cushions of Israel's praise. We know you were there for our parents. They cried for your help, and you gave it. They trusted and lived a good life. And I am here, and here I am, a nothing, a earthworm, something to step on, to squash. Everyone pokes fun of me. They make faces at me. They shake their heads. Let's see how God handles this one. Since God likes him so much, let him help out. Let him help me. And to think you were midwife at my birth, setting me at my mother's breasts. When I left the womb, you cradled me, and since the moment of birth, you've been my God. Then you moved far away, and trouble moved in next door. I need a neighbor. Herds of bulls come at me, and raging bulls stampede, horns lowered, nostrils flaring, like a herd of buffalo on the move. I'm a bucket kicked over and spilled. Every joint in my body has been pulled apart. My heart is a blob of melting wax in my gut. I'm dry as a bone, my tongue black and swollen. They have laid me out for burial in the dirt. Now packs of wild dogs come at me. Thugs gang up on me. They pin me down, hand and foot, and lock me in a cage. A bag of bones in a cage, stared at by every passerby. They take my wallet and shirt off my back, and then they throw dice for my clothes. Psalms 22, 1 through 18 says, this is raw suffering and prophetic. David writes anguish that Jesus later fulfills on the cross, abandonment, mockery, pierced hands, divided garments. God shows us that he was never absent, even in the darkest moment. Pain doesn't mean God has left. It often means redemption is unfolding. Ouch. Proverbs 5, 7 through 14. So, my friend, listen closely. Don't tread on my words casually. Keep your distance from such a woman. Absolutely stay out of her neighborhood. You don't want to squander your wonderful life, to waste your precious life among the hard hearted. Why should you allow strangers to take advantage of you? Why be exploited by those who care nothing for you? You don't want to end your life full of regrets, nothing but sin and bones, saying, oh, why didn't I do what they told me? Why did I reject a disciplined life? Why didn't I listen to my mentors or take my teachers seriously? My life is ruined. I haven't one blessed thing to show for my life. Okay. Proverbs 5, 7 through 14 says, a sober warning, ignoring wisdom leads to regret. Sin promises pleasure, but delivers loss, honor, peace, and years wasted. God isn't trying to restrict you, he's trying to protect your future. So the big breakaway is God prepares in private, redeems through suffering, calls for humble faith, and warns us before regret ever shows up. Stay obedient, stay humble, and stay wise. I'm a firm believer of listening to that Holy Spirit. You'll kind of hear it like in your chest sometimes for me. Sometimes I hear it up here. It's one of those crazy things. You hear that voice that you know you're not supposed to be doing something or not going a certain direction or just supposed to be on a certain path. And you don't listen and you regret it down the road. That's that inner voice we need to be listening to. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe, share it with other people. We'll get more people on here. We'll do this together as a team. and stay dedicated. And we'll read the Bible together in a year. No one told you today, I love you. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon.